ATHLEAN-X.com, if you are one of the many that gets popping, clicking, crunching, snapping, whatever the feeling that you described as you raise your arm up over your head, then you're going to want to watch this video. First of all, you got to figure out what the hell is going on. And that's what my job as a physical therapist is to try to help you do. But secondly, I got to try to give you something that can help you actually immediately and will also give you optimism for a long-term cure, okay? So what we have to do, first of all, is understand what it is. And we know that when you raise your arm up over your head, a couple things need to happen. One we'll cover in another video, and that is you do need to have your shoulder blade help you. So you can't just get up there by raising your arm up on its own. You need motion, upward rotation here of the shoulder blade to allow you to complete that motion all the way up over your head, okay? That's the one we'll cover at another time. But the second thing is you need help from these really overlooked, no one cares about muscles here in the back of our shoulders called the rotator cuff. And these in particular, they kind of position themselves around here, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor. They position themselves and they wrap around, they grab on this way, around here onto your arm. So you can see that if they were to contract, they're going to do this. They're going to pull this way, right? So they're going to grab it here and pull it this way. They're going to actually rotate it back like that. The upper arm's going to rotate back here into the socket. What that does is it plays a critical role when you're trying to raise your arm up overhead for any sort of overhead press or pressing movement, tricep work, because it's going to keep the head of the humerus centered into the ball and socket. If the head of the humerus starts to migrate up as you go and raise your arm up, it starts to bang into the roof here of this joint and pinches the structures that are in here. Pinches the tendons, can actually really start to eventually tear your supraspinatus tendon. That's when people talk about a rotator cuff tear, because it's just getting pinched all the time, and it's like a fraying rope that gets worn down so much that it finally just gives out. So what you want to do is you don't want that upward migration. You want to be able to keep it centered, and what these do is they actually keep it centered in the joint, and they actually externally rotate it to allow for more space in the joint as you raise your arm up over your head. So how do we work this and how do we figure out that's what's going on for you? Again, it's a very common problem. Lots of other things can be causing shoulder problems, but this is one of the most common because we as lifters tend to never really pay attention to these, and these are the only muscles that will help you to counteract this. So you have to work them. There's no way around it. So what you can do is you head to the wall like I'm going to show you here. You position yourself where your arms and your elbows are against the back of the wall. Okay, so you back up, and the two key points you want to focus on are right here. You want to focus on this point of your finger, okay, and keeping that against the wall. And you want to focus on your elbow, but really the back side and being able to keep that against the wall. When you get to the very top, you'll see that once you get to the level of your shoulders, then as you raise up, the elbows will come off the wall, but try to almost bring them together to further externally rotate the arm and almost bring your hands, those 2 points I talked about, together. And you might notice that the first time up, you get ever so far, but then the elbows will come off, or the fingers will come off, and you can't get them both up. But then the next time you try, meaning the next rep, you see a little bit better improvement. And then the next rep, you see a little bit better improvement. Do that for about 5 or 6 reps. Then take a step away from the wall, and then try to raise your arms up over your head. If you were someone that was already experiencing cracking, popping, snapping, grinding, crunching, whatever the hell you want to describe it as, you may not feel all that much anymore. In fact, you might feel none. And the optimism behind that is that you've sort of temporarily repositioned or activated the rotator cuff to allow you to reposition that head of the humerus where it should be, and therefore clear more room and give you a better chance of raising your arm over your head without any kind of pinching. So we know that if you actually train them long term, and incorporated some of that into your training at the right times, you could fix this and you could overcome that long before it led to a fraying to the point of a tear in your shoulder. And that is going to be key. You can't allow your shoulder to get so worn down with your training, because ultimately once you do have a shoulder problem, it's very tough to recover from, especially when you consider all the strength movements that require shoulder activation and involvement, right? So you want to make sure that prevention here is the key. If you're looking for a program that will help you to prevent that, while at the same time, obviously, helping you to get bigger, get stronger, look better, right? We know that that's the goal behind a lot of people's efforts in the gym. but to do it in a safe way, then head to ATHLEAN-X.com, guys, and get our ATHLEAN-X training system. As a physical therapist, it was my priority to make sure I didn't just help you to get bigger and stronger and faster, but also keep yourself safe in the long run. If you found this video helpful, make sure you leave your comments and thumbs up below, and let me know whatever else you want to see. Again, I'm happy to break out the skeleton. Raymond here to break down whatever it is that you want me to explain even further. All right, guys, I'll be back here again soon.